You could be doing everything right in bed and still leave him forgetting about you the next day. But if you say these 5 simple phrases, you'll have him craving you for years. Because passion isn't just about touch. It's about what you make him feel with your words. Think about it. How many people actually talk during intimacy in a way that makes it unforgettable? Most either stay silent or throw out cliches. But when you know the right words, you tap into something primal. You create a memory so strong he can't stop replaying it in his mind. And here's the best part. Anyone can do this once they understand how. Let me give you the 5 phrases that flip that switch in his brain. And before we dive in, if you've ever wondered why some moments feel electric and others fall flat, hit that like button, because I'm about to give you a masterclass in desire. You speak the right words, not louder, but deeper. And in that moment, his whole body moves towards you like it has never been touched before. Want to know the line that does that? There's a secret language of desire, one most women never learn to speak. But when you do, it opens a place in him no touch can reach. Today I'll share 6 things you can say in bed that make a man moan, not just from pleasure, but from the raw emotional truth only your words can give. This isn't about being loud, it's about leaving an impact. When you lean in close, your breath brushing the skin between his thoughts, and you say, "I've never wanted anyone like this," you're not just giving him a phrase. You're giving him something sacred, proof that he matters in a way no one else ever has. These words are not empty. They carry history, they carry meaning. They hold the weight of every man before him, with the silent truth that none of them compare. That hits a man deep in his core, because no matter how confident he looks, every man carries a quiet fear that he is replaceable, that he's just a stop along the way to someone better, that even if he's trying his best, it still might not be enough. So when you look into his eyes, when your voice shakes with desire and you say, "I've never wanted anyone like this," you don't just calm that fear, you destroy it. You make him feel rare, chosen, exceptional. You give him something he didn't even know he needed. To be the one who makes you lose control. It's not about comparing him to anyone else, though it may sound like it on the surface. It's not saying he's better than your ex, stronger than someone else, or more skilled than the men who came before. It's deeper than that. It's saying what he wakes up in you has never happened before. The way your body reacts to him, the way your mind melts in his presence, the way your voice catches when he touches you. None of it has ever been like this. Maybe you've felt passion before, maybe you've had deep love, maybe you've known real connection, but not this mix, not this intense pull wrapped in tenderness, not this feeling that nothing else matters right now, because with him, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. These words don't just boost his ego, they feed his soul. They make him feel chosen, but more than that, they make him feel understood, because it's not just about what he does to your body, it's about how he changes how you feel inside. Men, real men, want to know they aren't just giving you pleasure. They want to know they've touched something deeper, a place no one else has dared to go. And when you say it, don't whisper it like it's from a movie. Let it sound like it slipped out before you could stop it. Let it be breathless, shaky, real. That truth will hit harder than any rehearsed line ever could. He'll feel it, and when he does, he'll see you differently. He won't just be aroused, he'll be moved. The truth is, this sentence works outside the bedroom too. Say it when you're wrapped in his hoodie. Say it with your head on his chest after the heat has faded. Say it when he's not expecting it, and watch him change. When a woman owns her desire without shame and speaks it with steady confidence, she becomes unforgettable. Not because she says something wild, but because she honors her own feelings. That's rare. Too many people play safe with desire. They wait to see if the other says it first, or they hide behind hints and little signs. But saying, "I've never wanted anyone like this," is bold. It says, "I know how I feel, and I'm not afraid to say it." It's raw, fearless, deeply feminine, and magnetic. And here's what happens after. When he hears those words, he steps into a new version of himself, more focused, more passionate, more ready to meet your level of intensity. He wants to match you not because he has to, but because he respects it. When someone feels truly desired, they rise, they expand into the space your words have given them. This one sentence, just a handful of words, becomes a mirror, showing him how much he affects you, and that shifts the whole atmosphere between you. Now you're not just two bodies moving, you're two souls, caught in a current you don't fully understand, but both feel deeply. He's not just touching your skin, he's rearranging the inside of your heart, and you're letting him. What's even more powerful is how you change when you say it. You're not just telling him what he means, you're giving yourself permission to want, to crave, to own your desire out loud. That's freeing, that's magnetic. Women who speak from that place, without asking permission to feel, draw in the kind of attention most people never know. So don't hold back. Don't wait. When the moment is right, when your breath is unsteady, when the heat between you is impossible to ignore, when silence begs to be broken, look him in the eyes and let the words fall. I've never wanted anyone like this. Watch what happens. Watch his hands tighten, his eyes grow darker, his breath stop for a beat, and know that in that moment, you didn't just turn him on. You reached a part of him that will remember you for a lifetime. When you say, I want to hear what I do to you, you're not just saying words. You're giving him a key to a hidden door most men don't even know they're allowed to open. You're giving him space, permission, and the desire to open up in a way he almost never does. Because here's the truth. Men are often told to stay quiet about their pleasure. They're trained to perform, not to express. They're expected to stay in control, not be swept away. But when you say that sentence, you give him freedom, and that freedom is electric. Think about what it says under the surface. You're not just asking for a sound, you're asking for truth. You're saying, let me into your experience. I want to feel what you feel, not just with your hands, but through your voice. That voice, raw and unguarded, becomes the most intimate sound in the room. It tells you more than his touch ever could. The way it breaks, deepens, or catches in the middle of a breath tells a story of how deeply he's lost in you. Men aren't asked for that often. They're used to holding it back. They're used to being quiet, steady, controlled. But when you say, I want to hear what I do to you, you're not weakening him. You're inviting his truth to rise. In that moment, things shift. The performance ends, the real connection begins, because now it's not about perfect moves, it's about surrender. He stops thinking and starts feeling, and when a man feels safe to express his pleasure, when he knows it won't be mocked or judged, he becomes completely present, completely yours. That sound he makes, that moan, that groan, that sharp pull of breath, isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's the release of tension he's carried for years. It's a fall into intimacy very few women ever guide a man toward. This line also shifts a powerful dynamic. You're not only the one receiving, you're leading, not through dominance, but through depth. You're saying, I care about your experience too. I want to know how I affect you. That statement alone makes a man feel wanted, not just needed. Too many men go through life wondering if they're only a provider, a protector, or a role to fill. But this moment tells him, you are more than that. You are wanted, deeply, sensually, passionately. And the way his body reacts to that realization will surprise you, because when he feels that kind of permission, something inside him cracks open. He might not even know what to say at first, he might pause. But don't take that pause as lack of interest. Give him space. Keep looking into his eyes, keep your body close, and when he starts to speak, or even just make a sound, listen like it's something sacred, because in many ways it is. It's him without a mask. It's him free. And when a man releases himself like that, it's no longer just about sex. It's about you, about what you've created, about the space you've built with your energy, your invitation, your courage. You might hear him say things he's never said before. Words of praise, words of depth, maybe even words that feel like worship. Every syllable that leaves his lips becomes a reflection of your effect on him, proof that you're not just touching his body, you're reshaping his idea of intimacy. Most women focus on being sexy, few focus on making a man feel safe in a way that's both powerful and incredibly arousing. But safety is the soil where pleasure grows wild. When you give him that, he blooms. And here's the thing, the power in this phrase isn't just about him, it changes you too, because when you ask to hear his reaction, you're not just giving, you're receiving. You're taking in his energy, his emotion, his raw truth. That sound stays with you. It echoes in your mind because it's rare. And what's rare becomes precious. You realize it's not only about what you're doing, it's about how deeply you're being felt. And that changes everything. So don't fear asking. Don't worry how it might sound or what he might say. Don't think it's too bold. Boldness is beautiful when it comes from the right place. And this line, it's not just bold, it's foundational. It builds a bridge between you. It turns two bodies moving into a conversation without words. It makes the act emotional, the moment unforgettable. And remember, when you say, "I want to hear what I do to you," you're not only letting him make noise, you're showing him his pleasure matters, his voice matters, his body matters, his release matters to you. And for many men, that might be the very first time they've felt that truth. You become unforgettable, not only for how you move, but for how you listen. So next time you're lost in the moment, don't keep it silent. Say it with meaning. Keep your eyes on his if you can. Speak with the full weight of your femininity, your strength, your want. Say it like you need to know every part of his truth, because when you do, you don't just hear his pleasure, you become it. And when you say the words, "You make me forget everything else," you're not just giving him a compliment, you're offering something far deeper, something almost sacred. You're proving that in a world filled with noise, demands, and endless thoughts, he has become your calm. That in his arms, your mind finally rests. And for a man, that realization is beyond powerful. Men often feel like they're always in a battle, proving themselves to their work, their families, the world. But in that moment, when you say this, you tell him he's not just another piece of your busy life. He's the escape from it. Think about how rare it is for someone to hear those words today, when everyone is glued to their phones, stressed about the future, weighed down by the past. How often does anyone get told they are the one person who can silence all that? That their presence alone can clear your mind and fill it only with this moment? That's not just romantic, it's transformational. When you say, "You make me forget everything else," you're giving him a special kind of power. Not power over you, but power within you. The kind that softens your body, slows your thoughts, and makes you feel safe enough to let go. You're saying right now, there's no past haunting me, no future to plan, no doubts to battle. There's only you. And those words do more than excite him. They ground him. They bring him into a rare stillness he may not get anywhere else. Because when a woman tells a man he makes her forget, she's also saying, "You bring me back to myself." It's wildly feminine and deeply soulful. Forgetting the world in someone's arms doesn't mean losing yourself. It means shedding all the layers the world forces you to carry. It means choosing presence over performance. And when you choose presence with him, he feels it in your body, your breath, your eyes. He feels you come alive for him, not just in the physical sense, but at the deepest emotional level. Because men don't just want to be wanted, they want to be felt. And this line tells him, you're feeling every part of who he is, not just with your body, but with your soul. It also gives him a sense of purpose, not in the daily routine sense, but in the intimate sense. It says, what you do changes me. It lifts me out of my stress, my overthinking, my endless responsibilities. In a world where women are often praised for handling everything, this moment becomes a kind of surrender. It's admitting that sometimes you don't want to be strong or in control. Sometimes you just want to feel, and he becomes the reason you can. That does something to a man's heart. it makes him want to give more. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, protectively. He wants to earn that kind of trust over and over. Because when a woman says he makes her forget everything else, she's telling him he is the moment she waits for. The moment that unravels the knots inside her, the moment that turns the noise into silence. And don't overlook how you change when you say it. By speaking those words, you're recognizing your own ability to feel deeply. You're choosing vulnerability not as weakness, but as a conscious choice. You're letting the outside world fade and diving into intimacy without apology. That freedom is rare, magnetic, unforgettable. It turns you into more than a partner. It turns you into an experience he wants to live again and again. Say it quietly. Say it truthfully. Say it when your forehead rests against his, your breath warm on his skin, your eyes heavy, because you're so wrapped up in the feeling of him. It slips from your lips like a secret you didn't mean to share, and it lands in his heart like truth, like gravity. Like something he didn't even know he needed until it was already echoing inside him. And here's what happens next. The air shifts. His body reacts. He pulls you closer, kisses you deeper. Slows everything down. Not because he's trying to impress you, but because something inside him has been moved. He now understands. He's not just giving you pleasure. He's grounding you, anchoring you, making time stop. And that kind of power doesn't fade when the night ends. It lingers. It bonds. It becomes a memory, a reason to return to you again and again. Because when a woman says, "You make me forget everything else," she doesn't just make a man feel wanted, she makes him feel like her safe place. And there is no role a man desires more than being the place where the woman he wants finally feels peace. When you say, "Take all of me right now," you are doing something most people spend a lifetime avoiding. You're removing every filter, every hesitation, every protective layer between yourself and raw, unapologetic closeness. This isn't about being provocative, it's about being fully present, completely, deeply, undeniably there. You're not asking for permission, you're giving an invitation that carries more than desire. It carries surrender with strength, passion with presence, vulnerability wrapped in boldness. And let's be real, those 6 words can freeze time, not just because they sound hot or tempting, but because of what they mean. They show a woman who is all in, a woman who isn't keeping back pieces of herself, a woman who is choosing this moment with her full presence. When spoken with conviction, that phrase tells a man, "I'm not just giving you my body, I'm letting you feel every part of me. No resistance, no shame, no doubt." And here's where it gets deeper. Men are wired to respond to certainty, to clarity, to knowing that the woman in front of them is present in every way, emotionally, physically, energetically. When you say, "Take all of me," you're not saying "use me," you're saying, "I trust you to hold all of me, to meet me at my depth, to rise to this moment with your full presence too." That kind of invitation is rare. It stirs something ancient inside a man, something primal, something noble, something he doesn't even fully understand but feels in his spine, his chest, in the way his body moves toward you, like it's answering a call. This sentence is the opposite of being passive. It's not submission, it's a sacred statement. You're not giving yourself away, you're offering yourself whole. There's a huge difference. One comes from emptiness, the other from power. You're saying, "I am enough and I'm yours to experience. Not because I need you to want me, but because I want you to have me right now without waiting." The beauty of this phrase is that it stands at the point where sensuality meets emotional confidence. You're not scared to be seen, felt, heard, or desired. You're stepping into the center of intimacy and saying, "Here I am, take me." Not in parts, not in fragments, but all of me. My breath, my hunger, my energy, my chaos, my calm, my light, my shadows. That kind of presence will shake a man, not with fear, but with reverence. Most people never experience that kind of surrender. They hold back, they ration themselves, emotionally, sexually, spiritually. But when you speak from wholeness, when you say, take all of me, you make yourself unforgettable. You mark the moment as something bigger than just pleasure. You're saying, let's lose ourselves in each other. Let's create something that can't be copied, faked, or erased. And when you do that, the energy shifts. It sharpens. He stops being just a man running on instinct. He becomes a man matching your energy, meeting your presence. His movements get more deliberate. His focus deepens. His touch, his voice, his breath, all of it becomes an answer to your invitation. Because that's what this sentence really is. A challenge and a calling. A request for truth, for depth, for fire, for connection that doesn't stop at skin. And it also lifts you emotionally, because when you speak with that much ownership of your desire, you step into a rare kind of confidence. You become magnetic, not because you're trying to be attractive, but because you are in alignment with your body, your voice, your want. And when a woman aligns with what she needs, she becomes irresistible, not only to men, but to life itself. Everything opens. Say it in a whisper. Say it through a gasp. Say it when your body is already leaning into his, and the only thing left is your yes. Not spoken as permission, but as a calling. Let it be raw. Let it be trembling. Let it be the truest thing you say all day. Because that sentence is a truth. That you're done hiding the parts of you that crave, that you're not afraid to hand your whole self to the heat of the moment. And here's what's important. When you speak from that place of inner fire and clarity, you're not only inspiring pleasure, you're awakening presence. You're not just making him feel like a man, you're helping him rise as one. Not by controlling him, not by pleasing him, but by inviting him into all of you. And that kind of woman, that kind of energy, that's who stays in his mind at night when the world is silent. That's the one who leaves a beautiful kind of mark. So don't just say it as if you're putting on a show. Say it like you're giving him a truth you've carried in your bones. Say it like your skin wrote those words before your lips did. Say it from your gut. Say it from your soul. And watch him grow more present, more powerful, more yours than you've ever seen. Because take all of me right now isn't about ownership. It's about connection. It's about claiming your right to feel, to give, to burn completely and without apology. When you look at him, your breath unsteady, your body already melting under his touch, and you say, "You're ruining me in the best way," you're delivering a message so charged, so honest, that it slices through the moment like lightning in still air. These aren't just words. They are confession, surrender, and strength wrapped into one. You're telling him that this connection, this man, is not just making you feel good. He's changing you. He's rewriting how you see pleasure, how you feel desire, how you give yourself to the moment. He's not just in your body, he's in your bones. There's nothing more powerful than a woman who is both unraveling and coming alive at the same time, and owns it. That's what this sentence does. It says, you've undone me, and I don't want to go back to the me before this. And that is unforgettable. Because men don't just want to be enjoyed. They want to matter. They want to feel like they've made an impact, like they've left a mark. They want to be more than a passing moment. They want to be a force. And when you say, you're ruining me in the best way, you're telling him exactly that. You matter this much. It's a rare kind of vulnerability, one that doesn't come from weakness, but from overflow. Because the truth is, we live in a world